Now, it may sound like a bad burlesque show, but a silent sticky design review is really just a design review that involves sticky notes and a little bit of silence. So what I found in my decade-long career as a UX researcher, strategist, and designer is that sometimes things don't always go according to plan. Stakeholders get confused, business requirements and goals get murky, and sometimes it takes a while to get everyone on the same page. So one of the things that I like to use is this silent sticky design review. Really all you need is some Sharpies and some Post-it notes and a design, and you're pretty much ready to go. It's intended to collaborate, to make all your stakeholders heard, and really understand not only their own viewpoints, but each other's. So if a lot of your stakeholders have different visions, there's team decision conflicts, there's a lot of crosstalk, groupthink, interruptions, this might be a tool for you. The goal here is to really get that shared understanding of the business needs and the user needs, align and get that shared vision, and identify areas of technical concern, as well as tear the design apart and build it back up. So the people that are generally in these sessions are your UX person, your developer, maybe an architect, a project manager, and then a business stakeholder of some sort, and hopefully even maybe a user or two. There are two different types of sessions. There's the traditional, which is synchronous, and then there's the asynchronous. And you can do this in person or remote. It doesn't really matter much. But for the purposes of this, we're going to talk more about the traditional. So as I said, all you really need is a wireframe or prototype, some sticky notes, some markers. I generally like to use markers instead of pens because markers make people write a little bit more succinctly because it's a fatter tip. And then some written scenarios, or you can explain the scenarios as you go through. And the scenarios is just, why would you see the screen? You'll explain the participant rules to folks. So the rules are pretty simple. We're gonna review the design, so I'll walk you through. Everyone is gonna stay silent for the first 5 minutes, and instead of asking questions or giving out feedback, everything is just gonna be written down. So we'll have the design in front of everyone. They'll write it down either on a Miro board or on a physical whiteboard. They can paste it up there, or in maybe Teams channel. But it's important that everyone stay completely silent. And this really level sets everyone so that no one can talk over the other and no one can really get into that groupthink scenario. So people will write down their questions, their concerns, their ideas, and then place that sticky note next to the associated design. You can have several designs on the table at this point. And 5 minutes is a rough number, and you can change that. So once everybody has written up their designs, it's time to start reading through them. Before I get through that, let's talk a little bit about what you do as a moderator during this. So the moderator, your goal is to be the neutral party. So you're not here to defend the design or save anyone. You're going to introduce everybody to each other, introduce the purpose and the goals of the project, as well as the rules of what we just discussed. You'll hand out your stickies and your markers, you'll set a timer, and then we'll give a 2-minute and a 1-minute warning to let people know when they need to wrap it up. Now, once everybody has put their notes on the board, you're the moderator, so you get to read and you get to lead. So you get to set the tone. If someone's writing something in a pretty sarcastic way, you can read it as genuine. And try to be open to discussion. But you want to stay on track. So the idea is to talk about the problems and the concerns and the root problems, and less about exactly how we're going to solve it. We can talk about possible solutions, but the idea isn't to solve it right in this meeting. The idea is to get everyone on the same page of what the problems, the concerns, and potential root problems are, and write that down. The result is you get equal feedback from all levels, not just the loudest person or the highest paycheck. And you get a better understanding of other people's viewpoints. And finally, my favorite part about this is there's a lot of undocumented things that finally get documented because people start seeing what other expectations and goals others have and realign those stakeholder expectations. I want to caution you, this is not designed by committee. I don't want you to think that you have to take copious notes and do exactly what folks told you to do. No, the designer is moderating and leading the session and discussion. They're listening and taking suggestions, they're understanding the problem, and then they're going to independently revise that. So you might be asking, who do I invite? How much do I show? What format? How much do I explain? When do I use these scenarios? Well, those are all things to consider depending on what you want to do and how long you want the session to be. So a shorter session, you only want to do 1 or 2 designs. In a longer session, you can do a long haul format where you're doing design and then 5-minute, then review, and then design and 5-minute review. But after every 5-minute Post-it note session, you're probably going to expect 10 to 20 minutes of discussion. So your next steps after this, Take those, you'll think about the root concerns and the root causes, you'll summarize those findings, communicate them with everyone so we're still on that same page, iteratively design another solution, and then maybe schedule another. I hope this was helpful for you to collaborate with all your stakeholders, make everyone feel heard, and not dictate to design by committee. If you like this video, there's more. Just go ahead on to the NDC YouTube channel and click around. Thanks.